Cosa significa per una donna sentirsi intera e vivere appieno la vita affettiva, familiare, lavorativa, partecipare alle tradizioni, oppure la libertà di non subire tagli al corpo o alla dignità? Nel mondo quasi 4 donne su 100 hanno subito mutilazioni genitali e milioni sono a rischio. Questa pratica è tutt'altro che lontana da noi ed è qui che nasce il nostro podcast INTERE, una rivoluzione senza cicatrici. INTERE è un viaggio tra storie, riflessioni e sogni. Io sono Uomini e vi guiderò alla scoperta di giovani attivisti che affrontano le mutilazioni genitali femminili. INTERE è parte di Y-ACT, un progetto cofinanziato dall'Unione Europea con Amref Health Africa, l'associazione loro, il coordinamento nazionale delle nuove generazioni italiane e l'Università di Milano Bicocca, una produzione di Tech for Good. Se vuoi andare veloce, vai da solo. Se vuoi andare lontano, vai insieme a qualcuno. Questo proverbio africano ci ricorda l'importanza della collaborazione per raggiungere un cambiamento duraturo e significativo. Sottolinea il potere delle alleanze, specialmente quando si affrontano questioni complesse e profondamente radicate come le mutilazioni genitali femminili. Nuova puntata di INTERE, una rivoluzione senza cicatrici. Benvenute e benvenuti. Siamo già oltre la metà di questo viaggio insieme, ma abbiamo ancora molti temi da trattare, tra cui il tema importantissimo del coinvolgimento degli uomini. Per lungo tempo le MGF sono state considerate una questione femminile, ma oggi sappiamo che il vero progresso verso l'eliminazione di questa pratica può essere raggiunto solo se gli uomini si uniscono alla lotta come alleati attivi. Il resto di questa puntata sarà in inglese, per facilitare la partecipazione dei nostri ospiti. Non preoccupatevi però, il podcast è anche in formato video e lì potrete trovare i sottotitoli in italiano, inglese e francese. FGM is practiced in many communities as a way to preserve family honor, control women's sexuality and ensure that women conform to societal standards, often determined by men. In many cases, men, as fathers and husbands, are seen as the gatekeepers of these traditions. According to research, while FGM is primarily inflicted upon women, men play a significant role in deciding whether or not it should be done, as it's often considered necessary to ensure that a girl is marriageable or pure. This cultural perception positions men at the center of the decision-making process, making men crucial in the fight against FGM. Globally, millions of girls and women live with the physical and psychological effects of FGM. Thousands will face it if we don't facilitate alliances with their communities. Despite the harsh realities of these women, FGM persists, partly due to misinformation and cultural beliefs about female sexuality and honor. The World Health Organization highlights that men often lack access to accurate information about the long-term consequences of FGM. Many are unaware of the significant risk it poses to women's health, both physically and mentally. This ignorance perpetuates the practice, as FGM is falsely seen as a way to protect women, when really it causes irreversible harm. According to studies, men are rarely included in decision-making processes about the women, but they must be. When educated about the effects of FGM, men can become strong advocates for change, helping to shift community norms and protect the rights of girls and women. Efforts to involve men in the prevention of FGM are growing. In some communities, men are invited to attend workshops alongside women to learn about the effects of FGM and how they can contribute to ending it. These programs stress that FGM is not just women's issue. It's a human rights issue, and by standing together, men, women, and communities can work toward eradicating this harmful practice. In this episode, we will discuss how men, as fathers, brothers, husbands, can act as key allies in the fight against female genital mutilation. Joining me are Taiwo Isaac Olatunji and Hezekiah Shobowale. Both our guests are from communities where FGM is practiced and are supporting the project in reaching their communities and advocating through their experiences, their reflections, and their commitment to building a future without FGM. They will help us understand how men's involvement can foster a culture of shared responsibility and partnership leading to lasting change. Thank you both for joining us today. Would you like to start by presenting yourselves and also by telling us what prompted you to join the Y-ACT project?
Thank you for having me, Uomini. I am Taiwo Isaac Olatunji. I'm a Nigerian and I'm about 36 years of age. I came to Italy in year 2020 to pursue a PhD in educational, pedagogical, and instructional sciences. And I stand here, I am a fresh PhD holder from the University of Padua, Italy. I am happy to join this project. I knew about it in August 2020 and I've been very active with it. I am a community educator. I'm an adult educator, so I'm very, very involved in this project, and it has been very rewarding going about and educating our community against FGM. Thank you.
Thank you, Taiwo. Hezekiah, would you like to continue?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity. So I'm Hezekiah Shobowale, and I'm 23. I'm from Padua, from the same city. We both come from the same city. And I'm a Christian though. I'm a Christian too. Also, the project, well, it's a beautiful project. I mean, it's not only for the young, it's also for the old. Because we are here to, like to educate, also to pass information across on these acts of FGM, which is something that it has to be gone. It has to be gone, it has to be eradicated. Because it's a painful act against the woman's body. So, and when I heard about the project, I think that was last year. It was an interesting topic to actually follow up, and I'm glad to where we've been to, what we've done, and what we are going to do in the future.
Thank you, Hezekiah. So, Taiwo, the involvement of men is crucial in preventing FGM. So, what do you think is required from men to help in the fight against FGM? How do you think they can provide more support to this fight as men?
All right. Thank you very much. So, as a resident in Padua, I knew about the FGM last year, about August 2023, as I said before, and I saw it as an opportunity to learn more about this phenomenon and to contribute to the development of my community. And I was very curious to see how, as a man, how I stand to understand this issue and how perhaps it affects me directly. I have this conviction that the role of men in preventing and combating FGM cannot be overemphasized. It is very important. In my experience as a Nigerian man, particularly as a Yoruba man from the southwestern part of Nigeria, I am aware that if a husband decides that her daughter will not undergo FGM, the wife will follow suit. The wife will agree 9 times out of 10, at least. This shows the influence that men have when they are empowered to take responsibility. In cultures where men are seen as protectors, I think we should involve them as persons that carried a sense of responsibility to truly protect girls and women against harmful practices, including FGM. Men, as custodians of traditions, they have the responsibility to monitor cultural shift, especially, and to have the courage to change, especially when they are confronted with new evidence.
Thank you very much, Taiwo. So now I would like to ask you, Hezekiah.
Yeah.
So also men, as we said earlier, are not directly affected by female genital mutilation. They often play a key role in the decisions regarding whether their daughters should undergo female genital mutilation. As even Taiwo was saying before, 9 times out of time, he was saying usually, as to say just usually, the women, so the mothers, listen to the man or to the husbands if the husband says, let us not do this practice on our daughter. So this shows that men do have a say on this issue, and they can help in the fight against eradication, for the eradication of female genital mutilation. So my question for you would be, how do you think the FGM impacts men, and how do you think men can collaborate with women to eradicate FGM from communities?
So the thing is, firstly, you have to go into the Bible, because like I said, I'm a Christian. So God said man is the head of the family. So how does it impact? And also in Genesis, it says that the woman was brought out from the flesh of the man. Since the man is the head of the family, the man also brings this boost to the family that helps the family move on, that helps the family go on day by day, doing their things.
So you want to say, for example, if the women is affected even emotionally because of FGM, that emotionality that's caused by the trauma of female genital mutilation can also later on have an impact on her life with the husband.
Yes.
And so indirectly that could impact the family's life, the relationship,
Yes.
and also the husband.
Yes. Also, a way that the man can help eradicate this problem, because I'll say it's a problem. It's by listening to stories, also encouraging its community to stop it. They're not in 17 or something.
Yeah.
So the man has to listen to the females of the community, not only the wife. Also has to educate his daughters. I think when we were doing this project, it was when I knew that one of my friend, a particular friend, this act was done on her, and it was when we came together, sit together and talked about this. That was when we were able to know that, okay, like this act has to be done and it has to be stopped, and we have to go into the communities, because it's not only in the family. We have to also go into the communities and eradicate this issue.
So to have community gatherings,
yeah,
where we
a
can
support
talk.
group. Yeah.
Great.
If I may add to that.
Of course.
Yes. I think what he was saying is very important. That is, we have to regard actions against FGM not only as women matter, but as human matter. That is, men should be closely, carried along. They should closely participate in projects like this, and I think this is one of the reasons why I appreciate Y-ACT.
Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
I would have a last question for you. So my question would be, what strategies do you think men can adopt, especially to help young women advocate in their communities for the fight against female genital mutilation?
Yumi, I think there are several strategies that could be adopted for this initiative. I will talk about maybe 3 that I consider very important. First is continuing intergenerational dialogue, which already is part of this Y-ACT project, because I remember that the first phase of the Y-ACT project involved intergenerational dialogue, whereby we youth, male and female, we had several dialogues with other generation. I think this kind of activity should be continued, and in some of these dialogues, men should probably be given the role to lead or initiate such intergenerational dialogue. Young men should have opportunities to talk with other men, which I have done in some of my micro actions, and I think it was very good. Second is that men should be made to be aware of how FGM can impact their lives directly as boyfriends, as partners, as husbands, or even as fathers. And whenever I participate in my micro actions and I'm talking to men only, I always emphasize this particular point. For instance, if I had a wife who has low sex drive and finds intimacy very difficult, I would imagine the frustration that can have on men. The frustration and the frustration would also extend to the family, and as he hinted earlier, that might even lead to a collapse of a family. So I think men should be educated to be aware of this particular issue, and because they are personal, these are personal consequences. And lastly, I would like to say is that we should foster fathers-daughters relationships. Girls should be more comfortable and confident to have talks with their fathers. I think this is very important. And fathers should also be more at home to listen to their guests. If girls feel comfortable to talk to their fathers and men are willing to listen, I think we will see more men taking anti-FGM message to the broader community, to the village square. Because I tell you, there are some men that are against FGM, but they are afraid of speaking up. They are afraid of being stigmatized or of being called a lesser man. So, but I think if we foster such fathers-daughters relationships, then the message could go louder and broader.
Thank you, Taiwo, for emphasizing a couple of points that we cover in this series of podcasts. The importance of the alliance with men. It's not FGM, is not a women's issue, it also relates to men. FGM is a human rights issue. And secondly, you also mentioned the issue of the influence on a sexual life of a woman or a couple that FGM may bring. Thirdly, you mentioned a very important thing, that was the importance of dialogue in the family. So how family and parents' love can help in the fight against FGM. All things that we cover in this series of episodes. So now, Hezekiah, I would like to give you the word too. So if you want to add something.
Well, my brother here literally just said everything. Like what I wanted to say was just to go to the community, to go out there and educate men, give them more information, and to stop the FGM, to be anti-FGM, not pro-FGM. I think we have to go to the community out there and activate men to not to be shy, to have the courage to go and speak to women about this. And I think one of the places you can go is to, maybe you can say you want to go to churches where you have men, you want to go out there to communities to because I know there are cultural meetings. You can go to cultural meetings, you can go to churches and other few places. Also organize your own seminar, workshops, and that would be a great idea.
Thank you so much, Taiwo and Hezekiah, for your insightful thoughts and for being part of this crucial conversation. As we've discussed today, FGM is just not an issue for women, it's a societal issue, and men's involvement is key to the fight. Studies have shown that when men actively engage in the fight against FGM, communities are more likely to shift their norms and embrace change. By uniting our efforts, men and women together, we can pave the way for a healthier, more just future for everyone. Remember, you can find more resources and materials in the podcast notes. And do not forget to tune in for the podcast and use the hashtag #TheValueOfTheGirl. This is Yohamin Teshome Kumbi, and thank you for being with us today. See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.